The circulation of farmlands has brought enormous benefits to both rural and urban development in China over the last few years. But the farmers who give up their right to land use usually get the least benefit from the process, and it remains a troubling question on how best to protect their interests while more farmlands are transferred to professional management. Our reporter Xu Zhaoqun travelled to Sichuan province in southwestern China to find out how the farmers there safeguard their precious farmlands.
This coming winter could be a busy one for the farmers living in Sichuan's Shuangliu County. Over the last few months, all the farmlands contracted to local farmers have been remeasured. Many of them have been to the village office to collect an official certificate that records the exact size of their land. When that's completed, all the farmlands will be registered, and no matter how it is later transferred, the fundamental function, cultivation, should not be changed. Farming situation is very different from 30 years ago, when the household contract system of responsibility came into being. Some lands were occupied as the cities expanded, some were deserted, and some now belong to different owners.
It's been several years since the farmland started to be transferred, but many cases are unusual. Some were sold to house developers by the village heads without the permission of the farmers, and the compensation amount was far less than expected. The farmers also worry that once the lands are leased, they'll have no power to ensure the rent is paid, or to claim the land back if the land is not used appropriately.
With the new certificates, farmers will have absolute power to make decisions on how their lands are used. Wayao village in Shuangliu was the first one to exercise this right.
See all these documents, they are the guarantees on my fields. If anyone wants to rent them, they have to talk to me, not the village head or the county head.
Chen told reporters that the government will provide each farmer a grant of 400 yuan each year for each mu, or a 15th of a hectare that they own. The grant money can only be used in a pension scheme.
If the land's function is changed after transfer, the grant will be cancelled. So all the farmers are voluntarily monitoring how their trustees use the land.
A special committee was set up by the villagers themselves to solve any issues arising throughout the entire process, including land measuring. All the committee members were voted for by the villagers.
I don't have any title in this committee. They have the right to make decisions for themselves. It's a fully democratic process.
The villagers said the certificates protect two things: the farmers' interests and the precious cultivated land resources.
Farmers migrating to cities will no longer have to worry they might lose their fields. This will encourage more people to lease their fields, and they'll be able to spare more time looking for a better job in the city.
Some 800 million farmers comprise the largest group of vulnerable people in the country. Even though the reform and opening up policy began in the countryside 30 years ago, most farmers have not been able to keep in step with the rapid pace of urban development. Fortunately, more attention than ever is being focused on the plight of the farmers. The rural development is crystal clear at all levels in China's nationwide modernization process. Xu Zhaoqun, CCTV at Shuangliu County, Sichuan Province.
The gap between Chinese urban and rural populations has been a problematic issue since the People's Republic was founded in 1949. During 30 years of reform and opening up, rural development has lagged far behind its urban counterpart. Bridging that gap remains a priority for the next generation. Tomorrow, in part 3 of Xu Zhaoqun's rural series, we'll see how people in Chengdu in southwest China have tried to narrow the urban-rural divide.